Alright, so, I'll catch you up on the beginning. So, um, the group, most of them had gone downstairs, except for you, who, fuck off, oh my god. Um, okay, so, most of them had gone down, except for you, because you had the worst hangover of your fucking life. Um, you had literally fallen off the dresser in the night and just ate shit and just continued to sleep. Um, they tried waking you up in the morning, but you had just said, wake me up when it's time to go see the guards, because you guys were supposed to go talk to the guards in the morning. They started eating breakfast, and you suddenly awake to a couple of guards nicely picking you up off the floor and waking you up and taking you downstairs to sit with the rest of your group. As you get down to the bottom of the stairs, you realize there's about 25 guards in this tavern where you guys are staying. They're all eating, except for the captain, who is talking to the group. The gist of the conversation basically goes with the captain mentioning, asking questions about how the one tavern burnt down, or the one inn burnt down. They did really well in explaining it, and they were honest. So nothing came of that. But then they asked about Brog and Cleek in the other tavern at Gloomy Gus's. And they did the captain didn't really believe Brog's story. However, these particular characters were known to be members of the Myriad Syndicate, who are not supposed to be in this town. So he made an ultimatum. He said, you guys can either come with me and be arrested, or since you guys did kind of do us a favor, but you still shed blood in our city, a fight which Brog himself had started, as the bartender had informed them. You guys had until nightfall to do what you had to do in town and leave. He gave them, he sat down to eat his own breakfast, told them they had about, until he was finished his breakfast to decide. They had said, the group had decided to bail by nightfall. So you guys finish your breakfast, you're still shaky as fuck. You head to, with the rest of the group, and you guys ended up finding this strange magic shop that seemed to be in the base of a tree. Steps going down to under the roots. In which case, when you were there, you got to see this. All kinds of devilish creatures sat examining items, and then filling out papers, and then they would put the item in the paper away. And then they pull out another item, new sheets of paper, and start jotting stuff down. The owner at the front was a tiefling. He tried to make a deal with the group for them to kill Jean and Duana, and that you guys would be allowed to have everything from their location, except for 5 small items. He had asked that you guys kill him, and then let this person, Damon, know that the person was killed. He would come collect the 5 items that he was looking for, and then you guys could have the rest. Ina, although the player was not there, I know how much she loves her divine sense. So I used that, and she determined that this creature was some sort of fiend. Now, she wasn't sure if, the demon blood in a tiefling was setting it off, or if this thing was not what it seemed. But either way, Brog had said he would agree, but the thing he wanted was Cerebus. Val had purchased an item from him as well. It's an interesting item. I don't think anybody else actually knows what it is right now. He kind of did it secretly while other people were checking out the Cerebus pup. But long story short, they declined. So he snapped his fingers. Everybody just suddenly appeared outside. There was no fight, no nothing. Just, somebody that was trying to get you guys to kill somebody that you thought might be friendly. From here, you guys are still looking for a magic shop, which you guys find Arcane Bob's. If you remember Arcane Bob. There it is.
Yeah.
So, everybody got their shit done. Is there anything you would like to sell or purchase? Including potions, if you're selling things, you get a 10% bonus on your trade-in value. So, if you were to sell it to them, you get 50%. However, if you are to use your items to trade in, you get an extra 10% trade-in bonus towards what you want to leave with. So, if you have anything you wish to purchase or sell, you can go through all that kind of stuff right now.
Sorry, I'm just having a quick look.
Yep, no worries. Take your time.
Nothing really to sell, but I'd be interested in some more +3 arrows.
So those would not be at this shop because they are technically not magic. But there are other, this place is right on the edge of the market. So, stepping outside the door, you can easily find some.
But, does Arcane Bob have any info on any kind of arrow of returning?
Arrow of returning, you say? Possibly. What kind of arrow of returning are you looking for?
Cleek pulls out one of his +3 arrows, and he's like, ideally one as strong as this, or stronger.
I see, and how would you like this to work? Does it reappear in your quiver, in your hand, on your bowstring?
Quiver's fine.
Well, he takes the arrow from you, and he looks it over, and he says, well, I'm getting some things ready for your other compatriots. It'll be ready a couple hours before nightfall. So, if you wish to come back then to pick it up, we can do that. Let me figure out a price. I could do this for about 20,000 gold. But if you would like more done, there could be a cheaper price on quantity, buying in bulk and whatnot.
How much do you charge for supreme healing potions?
Let me see. I think they were 1,000. Potion of supreme healing is about 1,000 gold.
And potions of speed?
I really need to up the price of those motherfuckers. Um, Potion of speed. Where the fuck is it? The shit. Oh, I think I did up the price. Potions of speed are 400 gold each.
I'll take 6 potions of supreme healing and 10 potions of speed as well.
Okay. He pulls them all out on the counter.
And do you have any poisons of sorts?
Poisons. You might want to visit an alchemist for that. I don't really have poisons. They're more of a natural occurring thing, or maybe some mixing of ingredients. But as for poisons myself, I do not carry those. I have made a particular arrow for an old friend of yours, Jax, that I could maybe offer you. Arrows of disintegration. They do only have a one-time use, but it basically puts a spell on the arrow, and when it hits the target, the arrow disintegrates along with a portion of your target. It is the disintegrate spell. It is quite costly, but if you're interested,
How much is quite costly?
let me take a look at the spell. It is a 6th level spell. So, well, if you were to provide the arrow, 12,800. So, just so you're aware, if you look up the disintegrate spell, you will be able to see what that does. It's in my compendium. Disintegrate.
Cleek will hand him 1 arrow. Like, wouldn't be bad to have one of those in my back pocket, just in case.
It's pretty insane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Jax did. Was it almost 1,500 in one turn? To the king.
The assassination. Yeah.
Yeah. Arcane Bob will take the arrow, and he looks like he's about to do something to it, but then he stops and he says, "The only thing I ask is, do not get me in trouble with the queen about this."
Cleek will just hold a hand over his beak.
Very well. You will be able to pick this up about the time your friends come back to pick up the rest of these items that they have been, have commissioned from me.
Okay, so total price I got for everything is 42,800.
And did you take the arrow of returning or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He said
okay.
that was 20,000, 10,000 for the potions, and then 12,800 for the disintegration arrow.
Okay, yeah.
Is he cutting me a deal or?
Give me a persuasion.
Whoops.
It's like, if you were to buy, it's more of for bulk items, like if you were to get multiple disintegration arrows or multiple arrows of returning, then I would allow it. He does say, however, before you hand over the gold, just be careful you don't miss with this arrow of returning, because it will still return to you, but if the arrow is damaged, it will not work very well. Are you sure you still want this?
Yes.
Very well. Well, in that case, if there's nothing else, I will get started on all these commissions from your group.
Would it be repairable?
So, the way I would do a +3 arrow is, it is probably made of mithril versus, like, iron and wood. I would say that you would have to take it somewhere. They would try to repair it. But the thing is that with a magic item, they can't smelt it down to fix it. They would have to try to hammer it out. So there would probably be a luck roll on your part on whether it was able to be fixed, or if, you know, when he tried to hammer it out, straighten it again, that it just like flattened or something like that. So there would definitely be a luck roll. It would not be easily repaired. Probably be like maybe a 15 to 20 means it's fixed. 0 to 14, it is not fixed.
Sure.
All right. You know what? Even better. But, there is one extra thing I could add on for, say, an extra 500 gold to this returning arrow. There is a way that if you were to miss a target, maybe as a reaction, you could speak a word and call it back before it hits something else and be destroyed.
Sure, yeah. Add that on.
Alright. So, I will warn you, though, that if, let's say, something, that whoever you're shooting at has a wall directly behind them, like their back's to the wall, if you miss, you're not going to have time to use the reaction. But if there's, like, you're shooting at something in the open and there's, like, 20, 30 feet behind the person, that would be the time where you could totally use your reaction to call it back. Does that work?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Alright. We are making gods in this bitch, after all. So, alright. Well, in that case, I will make sure to get this ready for you for this evening. Is there anything else I can do for you?
I think that'll be all. Much appreciation, Bob.
Oh, nice to see you again, Cleek. Don't be a stranger. I'm in most major cities, and now and then a smaller one.
Well, I'll see you tonight, and I'm sure we'll see each other again after that.
I have no doubt. And as you and the rest of the group start to leave, I guess I should have said, when you and the group came in, this arcane Bob literally crawled out from underneath the desk, it seemed. But as you guys start to leave, you hear a pop, and he's gone. So, next, the rest of the group, that it took a while for, all of you to get through your stuff, so it's getting to be about noon, which is when you guys went to the Myriad Syndicate, Shadows group, at the location that's in the general area. You guys looked for the symbol, the same symbol that was on the door when you met your brother, when you were knocking and he stopped you from, like, knocking any further. Do you remember that?
Yeah, in the town where we caused all the ruckus and then
Yeah.
didn't remember it.
Yeah, yeah. It took you guys a little while to find it because it was like a centimeter large on the edge of a door frame. But when you guys do find it, you guys head in. It was just you, Brog, and Ina. Brog asked a bunch of questions about, let's see, wants to possibly make a deal with the Myriad Syndicate, helping to dethrone the Xanathar, which is basically the head of the, I think, Thieves Guild in Waterdeep. Suggesting maybe a Myriad expansion, and he wanted to be instrumental in it and kind of rule over Waterdeep. Of course, there was going to be talks in the future that if the Myriad Syndicate agrees, there would be percentages, of course, that Brog would then have to pay if he was given the territory after he helps them take it in another world. Well, let's see what else they talk about. Fuck. Dude, there was something else. I can't remember what else it was. I don't think it was hugely important. Apparently I left it out of my notes, so it couldn't have been that huge. Yes. Alright, so after the speaking with Shadow and Brog was done, Brog is about ready to leave, and Shadow mentions, Brog, maybe you should go find the rest of your group or something. I need to talk with Cleek alone. And Ina had opted to stay with you, and because you weren't there and Ina wasn't there, I had just had your character nod, yeah, it's fine. So, this is where the real RP begins. So, after the conversation, Brog heads out. Shadow says, Cleek, I'd like you to stay behind for a moment, if you wouldn't mind. We have something to discuss that I think you will find quite important.
Cleek will agree.
Ina is uncomfortable with leaving you alone, so you is it alright if I stay, Cleek? And she kinda looks at Shadow. And Shadow shrugs towards you. It's up to you, my friend.
Oh, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. They could have killed us many times if that's what they wanted.
It's not about killing you, and I know you can handle your own. But I've got nothing else to do for the rest of the day until my items are ready at Arcane Bob's as well. If you'd rather me not be here, then I will leave, but otherwise, I can stay.
I have no issues with you being here. I'm sure most things that I would hear I would pass on anyway.
Shadow says, as you wish. Please, follow me. And the rest of his group, all 5 of them, head into the back through a door. You can definitely see that as Shadow approaches the door, he stops for a moment and looks at Felice. Felice comes over. She's the tiefling sorcerer in their group, if you've forgotten. She walks over and she waves her hand in front of the door, and the sigil seems to brighten and then disappear. And Shadow opens the door. Says, please, come with me. And the Shadow walks in by himself. The rest stay in the main room.
Queek will follow Shadow through the door.
And Ina follows you. So, as you guys enter, you notice there is a creature in a chair with a burlap sack over his head, and his hands are tied behind his back. So are his wings. This is an Aarakocra in the chair. Shadow says, "Don't attack me. I promise it is not what it looks like. But take the sack off his head."
I'm sure attacking you wouldn't get me anywhere good, Shadow. And Queek will walk over and take the hood off. Already knowing, or assuming, I guess. Actually, should I roll for that? Or because I'm pretty sure I know who's under here.
Sure. Give me a history check at advantage. Yeah, whoever this is, it looks like he is wearing the same clothes that you last saw your brother in I believe it was Rexcentrum. Yes, it was Rexcentrum. Give me one moment, I just gotta pour a drink. Got all my shit in a little cooler next to me today.
Nice. Sorry, you said that, so I immediately got up to go get a beer.
That's fair. I even have no sugar added pink lemonade.
Nice.
Yeah, it goes really well with tequila. So,
tequila and pink lemonade? Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
Dude, it's fucking glorious, man. It's only missing grenadine, but that's just an extra syrupy sugar I don't need.
That is fair.
My diabetes would hate me. It's already not going to like me. But yeah, you take the burlap sack off his head. Sure enough, it's your brother. His head is lowered down, almost like he's sleeping. You see gashes all over the place, everywhere. He looks weak and on the verge of death.
Queek will look to Shadow and be like, "Are you responsible for these gashes? Or did you find him this way?"
Neither. Let me explain. You see, we've known for some time that he has been in league with Saztam. Unfortunately, when we captured him, we did use a drow sleeping poison, which put him to sleep. Now, we then tied him up, and we put him in this chair. I assure you, none of us have made those gashes. I understand you have met him in Rexcentrum, correct?
Correct.
Did you ask him anything about what he's been doing or where he's been?
Of course.
And what happened when you did?
He told me nothing. Only to leave.
He made no signs that he was in pain? Or that he wanted to tell you something but he could not? Give me a history check at advantage if you personally do not remember. Yeah,
it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Now that you say it.
Yeah. Every time you would ask him a question, it looked like he wanted to answer you, but every time it seemed like it caused him great pain, and he would just tell you to leave. Until he finally just said it one last time and left.
As a matter of fact, he did seem in pain.
Well, it seems like your brother here has had some sort of curse put on him. We have not been able to remove it. He has wanted to give us information. So every time he tried, the words would get stuck in his throat and a new gash would open. He tried for hours and hours, and every time a new gash would open. Venti has been trying to heal these wounds, but as they begin to heal, he would then try to answer again and tell us what has been going on and what Saztam's plans are, and a new one would appear. We were afraid that if he kept trying, he might end up dying. So we stuck him with another dose of sleeping poison so he would stop trying for the moment. We are at a loss of what to do here. So, you are his brother. We have a couple options. And as he is your blood, I want you to tell us what to do. Our current options are as follows.
Ket was asked. No, I'm just kidding.
First, we do just unfortunately learn nothing, and we do put him out of his misery. That is option 1. Option 2, we let him keep trying until eventually Venti cannot heal him anymore, and his injuries kill him. 3, we keep him captive, and we search for a way to remove this curse. Although I will warn you that so far it has not been easy. Even a greater restoration spell has not got rid of this, and neither has a remove curse spell. So our options on this are very few and far between, and none of which are pleasant. It will cause him great suffering. The one option I cannot offer you is that we let him go, because Saztam will force him to tell him what he knows. And he has now seen all of our faces. We are a shadow group.
Controlled as well?
I believe to a certain extent. He has autonomy, but I believe that there are certain things that if he wanted to do, his body would not allow him.
So, if he's trying to help you, could you not free him and just, we convince him not to say anything so he stops hurting himself? Or does he have to remain a captive in the chair?
Well, here's the thing. We don't know 100% how this curse works. We've never come across this before. So, if we were to let him go, and at some point Saztam or the curse decides that the action that your brother is trying to take goes against Saztam, I don't know whether it would cause him injury or if something could basically take him over and control him into attacking us. It may even at some point make him fly away back to Saztam and feed him information. We do not know.
Cleek nods. Yes. This is my worry as well.
I want you to roll me a perception at advantage. He says, yeah. You notice that although there are gashes everywhere, There seems to be no blood.
Interesting.
So, as a player, I don't know if you would know what that means. However, as a character, I would allow you to roll me either a nature, an arcana. Yeah, nature or arcana. Or even a history dealing with the fact you have dealt with other creatures in the past.
Motherfucker, it doesn't matter. Any of those are just one month.
In that case, your best bet here would be a history at advantage.
That'll biff one eventually.
Yep. For real, though. I was waiting for it. I mean, you rolled 2 really good histories already. You feel like you might know what this means, but you can't place your finger on it. It is stuck in the back of your memories.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what it means, especially based on how I originally left my brother.
Would you like to ask Shadow about it?
Sure. Why do the wounds not bleed?
He said, well, this is the unfortunate thing I didn't necessarily want to tell you about, but your brother is some form of an undead.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Possibly a revenant. And that's when it clicks. You've dealt with a revenant before. In, when you guys were looking for, up in Easel Cross, the very northern place, remember that dungeon, Aor, you guys were looking for? You guys came across that dude who was, who had been killed?
Was this like way back at the beginning?
Yeah. It was a dude who had been killed, and then you guys helped hunt down the people that killed him and his family. That's when the dragon egg came into play.
Yes. This is all coming back to me.
Yeah. He says the only thing is that it seems like for some reason a revenant normally comes back on their own. And they must fulfill a mission to rest. But this is a strange one, because normally they come back of their own accord. This one seems like he may have come back for what reason we don't know, but he is now being controlled, presumably by Saztam or somebody in his army.
Yes, that's what I was afraid of.
Before you make your decision, if you would like, we could try to wake him up, and we will have a drow sleeping poison needle ready should he start getting too many more gashes, if you wish to speak to him.
Before we wake him, can we tie his beak shut?
We can. I don't know if it will help or not, but we could definitely do that.
I mean, I would assume if he's trying to feed you information against Saztam, it would be at his own will. I just need to talk to him and convince him not to before we untie his beak.
Very well. Give me a moment. And he goes into a bag and he pulls out a long piece of twine. And he does like 20 wraps around the beak and ties it tight. And he kind of puts his thumb in between the two parts of his beak and tries to move it, see how much movement it has, and it doesn't seem to have much. He says, "Okay," and he pulls another vial out of his bag, and
if you all wouldn't mind staying more out of sight so he doesn't feel surrounded when he wakes up. No, it's just me and Shadow in here, right? And Ina.
Yeah, it's just the three of you.
Okay.
He says, well, he seemed to believe myself to be friendly, but I can understand. I'll stay back a ways. He pulls out a vial of this black liquid, and he says, so here's what you're going to do. He hands you the vial and the syringe, and he says, draw a full length, and then put it in between a space in his beak, and just put it into his mouth. If you inject it, it could have bad results. And he hands it to you.
To wake him or to put him back to sleep if necessary?
This is to wake him. He says this is the antidote. I will have a needle just prepped, because drow sleeping poison is technically an injury poison, so you can use that to put him back to sleep. It doesn't even have to be on like an arrow or anything. You can put it on just like the tip of a needle and jab it, give him a small poke in his arm.
Yeah, fair enough.
So he says, give me one moment, and you see him take out a just like a small needle, and he dips it into another vial, and he kind of like tries to hide a little bit, kind of like not from you, but from when your brother wakes. He kind of crosses his arms, and he has it in one of his hands, hidden, and he sits in a chair across the room.
Cleek will follow Shadow's instructions with the vial and needle.
It takes a few seconds, but you see your brother's head start to move, kind of wavering back and forth, and his eyes are popping open a little bit, like very slowly. He sees you, and his eyes go wide, and it looks like he's trying to move his beak, and immediately he becomes in pain.
Cleek will put a hand on his shoulder and go, "Shh, brother, shh, enough, please. You're only causing yourself pain."
He, give me a persuasion at advantage. He calms, and he looks up at you, and although his one eye kind of has like blue crackles of energy around that kind of look like a scar, and the eye itself is almost like a swirling hue of blue and lightning. His other one looks at you, and it looks sad and almost teary-eyed, but he nods his agreement.
"I'm going to untie your beak, but you must promise not to try and tell us anything that's going to cause you pain. We're going to try and find a way to fix this, but in the meantime, you must stop hurting yourself, or you'll never be able to tell us anything. You'll die."
He nods, and kind of as a response, Ina kind of walks over and uses one of her lay on hands abilities, and a couple of the gashes kind of heal up a little bit, but they don't heal all the way. And she kind of looks at you like, this is strange. Those should have sealed up. But she takes another step back.
Cleek will untie his brother's beak.
He kind of moves his beak around, kind of like, after somebody gets punched, kind of like moving the jaw, see if it's clicking.
Yeah.
He says, "Hello, brother."
"Hello."
"Where am I?"
You're in a safe place. In the event of your escape and return to Saztam, it's probably best we don't tell you exactly where.
He nods. "That is fair."
"We know that you're under a curse. Do you know exactly Actually, you know what? Maybe don't answer that. If you're not aware, you've been made a revenant. Unfortunately, I don't think that's something we can fix. The curse, however, we're going to try, but you must remain tied to this chair in case the curse causes you to return to Zaztam. Unfortunately, you've seen and heard too much here. It would be detrimental for it to get back to him.
I understand.
These people here are good people. They'll take care of you and do their best to heal you and take care of that curse. And hopefully once it's lifted, you can help us and we can help you to do whatever it is you need to do as a revenant.
I want you to promise me something, brother.
Cleek kind of cocks his head.
Before I tell you, I want you to promise.
I promise.
If you cannot get rid of this curse, kill me. That is, his eye tears up a little more. I can't live like this. If this curse continues, I need you to kill me.
Will you give us some time to try and find a way?
Yes. But whatever I came back for, it has been lost in my memory. So, even once you get rid of this curse, whatever it is, I don't know what it is I'm supposed to do. And a revenant's point in coming back is to complete something they didn't do in life. If I don't get that knowledge back, and he kind of like hangs his head a bit, and he's like, I will never be able to rest.
Well, if we find someone strong enough to fix this curse, maybe they'll also know how to fix your memory.
Thank you, brother. I know you hold to your word.
I will do what needs to be done. I can't have you like this forever either. It's not fair to you.
He kind of quietly sobs a little bit. So, where do we go from here?
Cleek will kind of chuckle and be like, well, for now, you go nowhere.
He kind of half-heartedly laughs at that. Always the joker you were.
But I have some friends that I can reach out to that may be able to help. And I'm sure Shadow will give me some way to communicate with him in case I come up with something.
Your brother looks up at Shadow, hopefully. And Shadow looks at the two of you. Says, before you leave town, visit Arcane Bob. I'll go hand him something. Or I'll go commission something.
I will inform Shadow that we need to be out of town before nightfall due to the incident that he stumbled upon.
I'm not surprised. Could have been worse, though. And your brother kind of looks at you. What did you do now?
It was one of my more brutish friends decided to cause a ruckus in a bar. I got dragged into it. We won. with the help of Shadow, of course. But the town wasn't overly pleased.
He chuckles. Always in trouble you were.
You gotta live on the edge.
Just be careful. One day, that edge may turn on you.
I guess we'll see.
Well, I probably shouldn't know any more of what you're going to do. He looks at Shadow and he's like, go ahead. Shadow looks surprised that he knows. But he stands up and he walks over with the needle outstretched.
Before you inject him, Cleek will reach down and put a hand on his shoulder again. He'll be like, I'll see you soon, brother. One way or another. But hopefully for the best.
Till we meet again, brother. And he looks over at Shadow and he nods. Shadow puts his hand underneath his chin and he injects the needle into his shoulder. And very quickly, your brother's head starts to droop, but Shadow puts it gently down to his chest. He puts the bag back over his head. He looks at you and he says, I'm sorry for you having to deal with this. It's not pleasant losing family. I know.
He's my brother. If there's anything I can do to help him, I will. Even if it means having to kill him.
He gives you a solemn nod. He's like, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But if it does, I'm sure he'd like you to be the one to do it, as he stated.
I would like to ask if there's anyone that you think could help with this. If you could reach out, I would greatly appreciate it. I will do the same.
Well, I've already tasked Arcane Bob with some information. He can't figure it out. I have put the word into my superior's ear, and that person is looking into it. But my understanding is you guys are going to see John pretty soon. He is one of the most powerful casters in all the lands. If he doesn't know something, then I don't know what to do.
Cleek nods. He was like, this was the powerful friend I was referring to. I just didn't want to say it, just in case.
That is fair. Just in case he does get loose and ends up having to be dragged back to Saztam, it's best he not know.
That was my thought as well.
I like you, Cleek. You are smart.
More wise than smart, but I'll take it.
He chuckles. Well, hopefully our next meeting is a little more joyous. But for now, unless you have questions or need of some information, I believe our time here is at an end for now.
Joyous or not, I'm very appreciative of what you've done here for me and my brother.
Well, we are trying to make the Myriad a symbol of hope and, assassinations and stealing for the good of the people instead of the good of ourselves. Trying to take the Myriad in a different direction, if you will. And it would not be going along with our new new choice of our new version of ourselves to just off somebody who is quite obviously a friend with similar ideals.
Very noble, and I'm sure I can speak for my group when I say that we'd love to help you with any way we can with that.
Well, if you help us take down Saz Tam, this is important. This will be more than enough.
Of course, we'll do our best, but I don't know that we're strong enough quite for that yet.
No, I know it will take some time. I just hope we are quick enough. I know he's growing power by growing more powerful daily, and his army grows. Where he has it, I don't know. Nobody seems to be able to find it. We have spies everywhere, and yet nobody seems to be able to get close.
Well, we'll see what we can do. But I best be going. The sooner I get to Jean, the better.
Very well. He outstretches his hand. Farewell, Cleek.
Like to shake?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cleek will reciprocate.
As you do that, you do notice. Actually, you know what? Give you a perception check real quick. He looks over your shoulder, and you think he might be looking at your wings. And he kind of licks his lips. And then he catches you looking, and he says, "Sorry. Old habits, you understand."
Yes. Don't eat my brother. He's already dead. And Cleek will kind of chuckle and let go.
He laughs. Farewell, friend. We'll see you soon.
Until then, and Cleek will turn and head out with Ina, I'm assuming.
Yeah. As you guys are leaving, Ina says, I still don't know if I trust them, but they kind of got a couple marks in my book now. They may not be as bad as I thought.
Is this all out of earshot? Or is Ina just throwing it out there?
This is after you guys, walk out.
Okay.
So you have pretty much the rest of the day. Is there anything else you wished to do?
Yeah. I want to go look for poison.
Alright, poisons. Did you want to find more +3 arrows as well?
I think I'm okay for now. I got 41 without the 2 that Bob has.
Okay.
So I mean, I've got enough if I've got the arrow of returning. Hopefully, I'll be more careful enough with that to not smash it.
Okay. So you head back to the market area. So let me see. I'll show. So if you zoom out, I believe I told the others that I believe I told Brog it was somewhere in this area, which was where Shadow was and his group. This down here, number 1, is the market, and I believe Arcane Bob's was about here. So you went from there to there. You had your meeting at noon. I would say it probably took like an hour and a half, so it's about 1:30 in the afternoon. You can make it back down here by probably 2:30 to the market. Give me one moment though.
Where was Shadow? I missed your first thing.
Shadow's up here, around near area 2.
Oh, okay, cool.
Give me one moment. I just realized I forgot to take my medications this morning.
Cool.
Taking them with tequila is probably not the best thing, but better than not taking them. Alright. So, yeah, about I'm going to say about 2:15, you get back down to the market. You wander around until you find a little shop. And it seems he has a bunch of alchemy ingredients out. Hello, potions? Potions, anybody? Do you need some potions? I got all kinds of tinctures and elixirs. What do you need? I might have it if it's not out here already.
Give me 1 sec. I have to switch headphones. Apparently, I did not charge this bitch after the last game.
Alright. In that case, I'm going to run down and take a leak real quick.
Hello?
I'm back. You back?
I'm back.
Excellent. Yeah, so, did you hear what dude said?
Yeah, he's got all kinds of stuff there.
Alright, yeah.
Cleek will be like, I'm looking for poisons applicable to my arrows.
He looks around and he goes, "Shh! What is wrong with you? My goodness." Not exactly a legal thing you're asking for here, you know?
Cleek shrugs. Sorry about that.
And give me a perception check. You definitely said it loud enough that a few people have looked, but none of them seem to be guards. He behind his little stand there, he has a tent, and he says, "One moment." He steps out inside the tent, and you hear him talk to somebody, and somebody else goes and stands at the stand, and that person says to you, "Go on in," and he points towards the tent.
Cleek will enter the tent.
Ina decides to stay outside. As you enter the tent, he says, "Alright, now that we're in privacy, just, you know, these walls are quite thin, as it is just a tent, so let's talk quietly. What is it you're looking for, sir?"
Cleek will kind of lower his voice and be like, as I said, poison's applicable to my arrows.
The man turns a book towards you. I'm going to show it to you. Did it come up for you?
Negative.
Still nothing?
Nope.
The fuck is the point in this show to players button if you can't fucking... It's fucking bullshit. Alright. He turns a book towards you. It is in your handouts. Now, what kind of poison interests you here, sir? Do keep in mind, these prices are not in the tome. This is normal prices, but these are illegal, so they're probably going to be slightly higher depending what you want.
Is this the Tome of Poisons?
Yes. Once this interaction's over, it'll be taken from you. But for now, just because he wants you to see what he has.
Okay, so I'm looking for injury poisons.
Ah. Attempting to kill your target from afar, are we?
Cleek will point at his quiver and be like, my specialty.
Quite fair. Now, we do have a discount, of course, for Myriad members. Are you a member of such?
Sorry, I'm not a member. I'm just kind of an affiliate, I guess. Right?
So you don't have an insignia?
I do not.
You know what he is going to do? He's kind of eyeing you weirdly. Kind of reaches towards the tome. He's like, I don't really know if, maybe I should offer these services to you. And he starts to close the book. What would you like to do about that?
Swallow my food. Cleek will be like, well, I may not be a member, but I assure you I'm with good standings. And I'm helping with their agenda.
Give me a persuasion check. You met the DC. You had to beat his insight.
Noise.
So, it's like, he's still eyeing you a little suspiciously, but he takes his hands off the book, which is still in front of you. Alright. No hasty moves, though.
So I'm just scrolling down to see if it has a layout for some of the shit I'm looking at.
Yeah, he does mention. Now, some of these I don't have on hand. Some of them will take time. Some of them take a long time to make. So, with that in mind, I may or may not be able to sell them to you immediately, and some I might have to wait some time. My inventory on these kind of items are a little, how you say, diminished.
I mean, I'm looking more towards the purple worm and wyvern poisons.
Well, wyvern poison, I do have 2 available at the moment. Purple worm, I have the ingredients, but I have not yet had the time to make it. It would probably take me 24 hours to brew that.
Unfortunately, my friends and I must be on our way tonight.
So, for player information, they did leave the town, and then they did spend a day training the griffins. So, with this in mind, if you would like, you could possibly try to sneak back into the town to pick it up, if you wish.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, technically your character doesn't know this at this point, but it's up to you whether you wish to use that information, because I'm going to give it to you and allow it if you wish.
Yep, we're gonna do that.
So you're going to try to sneak back into the town while they're training the griffins?
I mean, what, 24 hours later? Yeah, it was in the middle of the day.
Okay.
I'm sure I could pull it off.
Oh, hold on a sec. I got a viewer. He's been talking this whole time. Apparently I haven't read, so give me 1 sec. Yeah, so you are. Those are all good suggestions, Kenny. I've got this though. Just chill and watch, my guy. This will be interesting. So yeah, he says, well, I can give you the wyvern poison now. I have 2 of them. These are about 1,600 per.
Gleekle nod.
Very well. And he reaches over to a chest, and he puts the chest on the table. He opens it up, and from your area, you don't really see anything in it. He says, if you don't mind producing the cash before I produce product. Money first, you know.
Gleekle will hand him the 3,600.
It takes you a little while to count it out, and he's watching you as you do it, and he even helps count it out. He takes out the 2 vials, and he places them in his lap. And then he kind of puts the chest back on the ground, and he just sweeps all the gold into the chest, off the table. He shuts the chest, and he brings up the 2 vials and sets them on the table. So I can't remember if in the Tome of Poisons there it tells you, but each vial takes a minute to apply without the poisoner feat. And each vial will cover 5 arrows. Also, 5 arrows.
Can I do that separately, or do I have to coat 5 arrows all at once?
I mean, no matter how you decide to do it, by rules it takes a minute.
Yeah, for sure. But I just mean, do I have to, if I do it once, do I have to burn all 5?
You don't. If you wish to just put it on 1, you may. It will still take you a minute. And that may even be the better way to go. Because poisons will usually diminish their return. So if they are not used within, I believe it is 1 hour, then they no longer have the poison on them. It's dissipated.
Yeah, that's fair.
So basically, what you would want to do is if you guys were sneaking up on some enemies, you'd be like, "Yo, give me a minute," and then you guys would hide for a minute and just sit still while you're sitting there stealthily. So you'd have to roll stealth to do it quietly, depending how close you were. To add it to your arrows, you would definitely have to, keep track of how many you've poisoned and if you've used them, of course. So, I would maybe copy and paste some shit out of this tome into your bio section or something, so you know what they do and what the con save, or what the save is, etc., etc.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy and paste that before you take the book away.
Yeah, good idea. He will say, now, these are the purple worm poison. These ones are about 2,500 a vial. I will require half payment up front of how many you wish. I do have the ingredients, I believe, to make 2, I believe.
Are these 5 uses each as well?
Yep. And any poison is any injury poison is 5 uses. Contact is kind of a 1 use. Ingested is a 1 use. Inhaled is a 1 use. Injury is the only one that you would be able to use more than once, and they are always 5 for ammunition, anyways. If you were coating a melee weapon, I would allow it to hit 5 strikes, and then you wouldn't be able to choose, when it hit. It would just automatically hit with each strike, if you hit. But ranged, yeah, you can coat 5 pieces of ammunition. But of course, the same kind of thing. If you miss, that dose is gone.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then, if it buries itself into a wall, well, now that wall is, got some poison in it, but you withdraw that, and the arrow's no good. The fucking poison's been worn off because it, buried itself into a wall, kind of thing. But yeah.
Sorry, just putting my plate up on the shelf so the dogs are not annoying the shit out of me since I'm done eating. Yeah, Cleek will get both. So he'll produce the 2,500 for half.
Okay. And you're paying for both? Half of both right now?
Yeah, he said they were 2,500 each, so I gave him 2,500 because that's half.
It's alright, very well. It is... He kind of guesses. He's like, about 24 hours from now, if you come back, you may pick up your pepperworm poison. This is very rare, though. So, I hope I get some repeat business out of this. I mean, you don't see purple worms very often. The last time was when a group up in the north killed one during the Uthadorn yearly mammoth hunt contest. We haven't seen one for quite some time before that. I don't know if you were. I think that happened after you dropped out of the group due to work, but I'm sure at some point the others of your group would have mentioned the fact that you had that they had killed a purple worm.
Ah, yes. It was actually some friends of mine that did that. So, you're welcome, I suppose.
Very well. That's quite interesting. But yes, about 24 hours they shall be ready.
Then I will see you then.
Good day, sir.
And Cleek will leave.
Alright. Now, once the others had got done what they were doing, you wouldn't necessarily know this, but they had gone back to the tavern. But doesn't necessarily mean you have to go with them right now. So is there anything else you wish to do in town before you bounce?
Nope.
Sorry, just pouring another drink. Alright, so Ina waits as you come out. She kind of says, I don't like poisons. It's not very honorable, you see. But we do go against quite a few things that are quite less than honorable, I guess. Sometimes you must fight fire with fire.
Sometimes it's not about honor. It's about staying alive. And keeping each other alive. If this will help with that, then I'll do it.
She kind of begrudgingly nods. It's like, I'm getting a little thirsty, a little hungry. Maybe we should head back to the tavern. See if our friends are there.
Seems like a good plan. Let's go.
Alright. And you guys head back to the tavern for the evening. Or for the afternoon, sorry. Everybody goes back to Arcane Bob's. Most of you do anyways. There was a few people that needed to pick up their items. They're all ready. You see Arcane Bob hand a ring back to Khan. You see there was some other things that others had waited for. But he hands you back your arrows. He says, take care of these. Second they pierce something. And he motions towards the arrow of disintegration. The moment they pierce, the spell will go off. So make sure you hit your intended target. If you hit an ally, well, I hope you will not hold me responsible for what happens.
What I do with my arrows is not your fault.
I hope the rest of your friends feel the same.
I'm sure they would sooner blame me than you.
Well, I hope so. You all seem like kind and trustworthy people, but in the event of a loss of a loved one, people turn savage very quickly. And he hands it over to you. He does make sure to hold it out kind of like a sword. You know, he's got one hand near the feathers, one near the arrowhead, but like beneath it, as to not let it touch anything.
I mean, is it gonna be safe to put this thing in my quiver, or am I gonna fucking disintegrate?
No, your quiver will be safe. Your quiver it doesn't pierce.
Okay, yeah, then Cleek will take it and pop it in his quiver.
Yeah, it's more about like you would have to sink the arrowhead in, right? Like, so like your arrows are +3, so like they could sink into a rock, and you know you might disintegrate a huge chunk of a rock wall, and the cavern might come crumbling in, or you know you accidentally hit an ally, and suddenly their arm just fucking disappears, you know. But it's burying the head that triggers a spell. So like,
Yeah, I figured that. I was just double checking because he was being so weird about it.
he's just being very careful. He has a great respect for the power of the magic, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, with that, you guys head out. You guys were all able to call your animals. However, even though they are probably, you know, somewhat sticking together, your psionic range or telepathic range is 500 feet. So I would like you to make me an animal handling to see whether you can reach him and if they come to your call. I'll give you the advantage on that one. So, as I believe it was Broggs and Cons, I believe were flying free as well as yours.
I think so.
Yours also comes flying in. And as they fly in, they land. And what is the name of yours again? Oh, you don't even remember the name of your own griffin, bro? Oh.
It's in my sheet somewhere. I know because I just read it tonight. Sorry about the dog.
It's okay. I want a husky too. I can't do the walks and shit. Or I'd have a dog myself.
Where the fuck did I put it? I literally just saw it today.
You could put it in your. It would definitely be in your friendly creatures and pets area.
Yes, that's where I saw it. Sleet.
Sleet. All right. The fuck is? All right. So. How much food do you have left for your griffin?
7 hunks of horse meat.
7 portions.
Yeah.
Would you like to go buy another horse before you leave?
Sure.
Alright, so let me see. I believe I had price guide in the how to train. So 1 full horse will feed a griffin for 3.5 days. horses usually cost 75 gold. For an able one with a saddle, 65 gold without a saddle. You may be able to find lame horses with a negotiating price. So 3.5 days is only if they do their own hunting as well, which yours has been. So I would say your 7 hunks would probably last. You probably got about 3 days left of feed with the extra hunting.
What was it, 10 portions per horse?
Oh, sorry. 1 horse will feed your griffin for 1 week if allowed to do some extra hunting in the morning and evening for extra treats. No hunting is done. A horse will only feed for 3.5 days. So, yeah, I would probably say, like, you if it feeds for a week without extra hunting, then, like, 1 horse would just do, like, 7 portions. So, would you like to go find a yummy, suitable horse? Or would you like just to go try to find a lame horse?
Nah, only the best for my boy.
Okay. So, you go to go to the stable. And, you find a horse trader. And this man is yelling about how fast and awesome his horses are. Horses here! Get your traveling companion! They are excellent! They are fast! They are strong! Get your horse!
Hello, sir.
Oh, hello!
I want to buy a horse.
Ah, by all means. What kind of horse are you looking for? And he notices the wings on your back, and he kind of gets a cockeyed expression. You get tired in the skies, I take it, now and then?
You could say that.
Ah, excellent, excellent. Well, you see, I have these ones here. These are my medium grade. They are strong, they are fast. They are 65 gold without a saddle, 75 with a saddle. And then we have these ones here. These are 100. They are stallion bred. Their father is an amazing stud, been a very strong rodeo horse for quite some time. The mother is a champion, won several racing championships for over 8 years. So, which would you prefer?
Do you have any that you have yet to spend the time to train?
I mean, all my horses come broken. We do not... They are broken as colts, so by the time they go to market, they are already trained and, and they will have to bond with a rider to do well, of course. So I cannot be held accountable if they do not finish the race in first place.
About the market aspect, going to market. This horse is not for riding, per se.
He gets a little weird about it at that point. What do you mean? Are you keeping them as pets? These are thoroughbred, sir. I mean, these other ones are not quite as thoroughbred, but these ones here, these expensive ones, they are the heartiest. Fast and strong, like those of free range, but broken, so they do listen to commands.
Cleek noticed him getting weird about it and kind of thought better of explaining the situation. And he's like, so it'll pull a wagon then.
I mean, if that's just what you wish, I mean, these other ones over here, these medium ones are better for pulling wagons. But what you do with your horse is not my concern, I guess. If you wish to spend a good amount of money on a wonderful, strong, fast one to put on a carriage. I mean, they would do well if, if they're pulling a carriage, somebody important in the back and are afraid of, highwaymen.
Yes, yes, it's a very large carriage, and it could be at risk of bandits. So the thoroughbred would be better.
He takes you down the list and he shows you many, um, many options. There's about 8 different ones. They are all very tall, very strong, and they look like they are probably fast as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, Cleek will pick one of the nicest looking ones.
The viewer says, when an owner thinks you're in the market for a kingfish, but all you want is feeders. Yeah. He says, well, this one here, I mean, I feel like I would be cheating myself if I let him go for 100 golds.
That was the price that you said, 100 gold for the thoroughbreds.
Well, I guess you are correct. Well, do you know how to ride one of these? They are quite a lot to handle. Or, I mean, do you know how to properly have them drag a carriage?
Oh, of course.
Now, if you want a lot of speed, I mean, a carriage is best carried by 2 horses,
One will do just fine.
One second.
And just a simple lead to get him out of the city will do.
Give me a deception. This creature is not for a carriage, is it?
Well, I said it's not for riding. What else would it be for?
Well, I don't believe you, but not many people have been buying as of late, so times are hard lately, I guess. And he brings you into a small building, and he goes behind a desk. He's like, alright, 100 coin.
Cleek will hand him the 100 coins.
He hands you the deed to the horse. But he is eyeing you very suspiciously. And he calls one of the stable boys over. This man will take that one there. And it is the biggest, strongest looking one. Stable boy walks over and hands you the reins. And as you're about to leave, he says, hold on, one moment. And he walks over and he looks stable boy and he says, I did not say put a saddle on it. Do not pay for the saddle. And he takes the saddle off and he's like, there you go. I hope no harm is going to come to this beast. He is a great moneymaker.
I'll do my best, but the roads are dangerous. Anything can happen.
Quite. And he watches you leave.
Cleek leaves.
Where does Cleek go?
To the butcher shop.
Yeah. You walk into the butcher shop after tying your animal out, tying him up outside. And butcher says, "What can I help you with, sir? We have great cuts of beef here."
I have a special request, actually.
I see.
I would like my own animal butchered.
Oh. Yes, we do provide that service. What you have in mind? You nice fat piglet? You need some bacon for your travels? Maybe a couple sides of beef?
Not exactly. It's the horse I have tied out front.
I'm sorry, what?
The horse out front.
Oh. Okay. Let me take a look. And he comes outside and he sees this beautiful stallion. Large. Very muscular. And he looks at you and he says, I mean, people usually don't eat horse, but I don't really get paid to ask questions. How would you like me to do this? Do you just want the meat? Do you want the insides packaged as well?
Yes, the whole thing, please.
Oh my.
Just chunk it.
I'm sorry. Chunk it?
Yes, just chop it into chunks.
You know, maybe I have an offer for you. I have been looking to get into the horse racing. What if, maybe I do a trade? I have a little bit of a lamer horse. The ankle has been broken recently, and he was kind of my workhorse. What if I was to butcher him, and I would trade you both the horse plus the butchering if you give me this stallion, and I can start entering races?
No, thank you.
Pity. Alright. Let's see what he's got. Bring him around back.
Cleek will bring him around back.
So, because this is going to take a little bit of time, I'm going to say that you did this before you went out and called your griffin. Of course. Just because it will take like a couple hours to butcher this son of a bitch, right?
Yeah.
He pulls up a rope and he puts it around the back ankles of this horse. And he says, "Do you wish to stay for this, or would you like to be gone?"
I can come back when it's finished.
Most people choose that option. He says, "Alright. So you're aware this is probably going to be a 10 gold fee to butcher this animal."
Not a problem.
He says, "Alright, we shall see you later." A couple hours later, you come back. Or sorry, as you're leaving, you hear a and liquid hitting the ground in large splashes. As you come back,
we watched the things butcher a horse before, so I mean, Cleek's not really bothered by it. He knew what the horse was for.
As you leave, sorry, that's what you hear as you leave. As you come back, you can hear in the back that there is a mop doing some heavy ass work. Before you on the table is he says, this one here, this is the guts. This one, it's going to be difficult to carry, so be careful. It's like the rest of this, I mean, is what it is. I would like you to give me a luck roll. Give me a d20.
Whoops. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah. So, in this case, he did not swindle you. He gave you the horse that you asked to be butchered. If you rolled less than a 15, he was totally gonna fucking swap him out. And he was gonna give you the lame horse, which would have been a little less meat. It wouldn't have mattered so much, but I mean, he might have shown up later in the campaign, rich as fuck, due to racing the horse instead. But this is interesting. So he hands you all the packets. Fucking massive ass legs. You realize one of them looks like it's in the shape of a head, and he's like, I didn't think to ask about the head. Did you want the head as well?
Yes, of course.
Alright, well, here it is. What'd I say? Was it 10 gold or 20 gold?
You said 10.
Alright, 10 gold, please.
Cleek will hand over 10 gold.
Alright. Very good, sir. He hands it over. You hand him the money. He says, pleasure doing business. Maybe see you again soon.
I do have a proposition for you, though.
Oh, yes?
Yes. I could, if you'd like to accompany me back to the stables, I could purchase you the racehorse of your choosing. For a profit, of course, on the wins.
What kind of profit percentage are we talking?
10% seems fair if I'm providing the horse.
Very well. Yes, I would love that. That is an excellent deal. He accompanies you back. So, Cleek, do me a favor. There is, in the player information handouts, there is something called calendar and holidays.
Yeah.
Which fucking log did not change like he was supposed to, I'm pretty sure. Motherfucker. Hold on a sec. Presender. 4th. Alright, I need to ask the log something. But, basically how this is going to work is you would have to come back to collect your winnings. So for every week in game, we're going to roll a d20 to see whether he wins or loses. Right?
Can I make a deal with Arcane Bob to collect have my winnings collected? Like, Buddy could bring the winnings to Arcane Bob?
He will probably want a percentage of your winnings.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give him like 10% of my 10%.
So basically a 1% overall for collecting winnings?
Yeah, for handling the money for me. And then I'll just collect when I see Arcane Bob.
Okay. Yeah, no, that can work. So every week we are going to roll a d20. We're going to probably roll it when you guys hit a Miracin of the calendar, which is basically, a Sunday. So, this should be... Log is supposed to be changing the dates in this motherfucker. due to his lycanthropy that nobody knows about. And this is the first week I've actually put it in, and I don't think he fucking changed it, so I gotta talk to my boy here. But yeah, so keep in mind, as he changes it, keep looking at it so you know what day it is, and then, because honestly, I am not going to remember. So you're going to have to, look at it and remember and do the roll, and we'll see if he wins or not, and then we'll do a roll to see how much he won, and then, Arcane Bob will collect, because a race is not always in one town, it usually travels. So,
that's why I picked Bob.
Yep, smart man. That's smart. That's smart thinking. So, that is how we're going to do that. I do
And
have to.
Is there somewhere I can see the days of the week on here so I know how to spell that shit?
Yeah, so if you look at the calendar and holidays, right? If you mouse over the actual calendar, it's set up just like a calendar. So, like.
Oh, it expands. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you look right under it, it will say current day equals, whatever. I know for a fact he didn't fucking change that, so I gotta fucking have a little. Give me 1 second.
Said it's like the Myriad. How is that? Mireen?
Miresen.
Esen.
Mirisen. That is basically like Sunday. Alright, so I've sent some.
And what would I be rolling? Is it like it'll vary on what I roll to see for the purse?
Yes. So we'll roll a d20 to see how well he did, and then we will roll a d20 to see whether he lost money or he won money. Also, depending, he also has to pay like a jockey and so on and such, right? So, based on the rolls, we will decide how much he won, and then what your percentage is, and then what you have to give Bob.
Okay, so it's a D20 to see if he wins, and another D20 to see how much he wins. Like, regardless, if he starts winning all the time, I feel like it should be more than a D20.
So like a D20, D20 is for, kind of what place he lands in. So like if he lands like below a 10, he's probably losing money. If he places above a D10, he's winning money. But depending on the number above the D10 would be, how much he has won.
So basically, a nat 20 would mean I won first place. My horse won first place. Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, we would do a D100, so that will determine, how much gold or platinum or whatever he has won or lost. So if you get a really bad roll on your first run, he might flat out go bankrupt and have to sell the fucking horse. So, right now we are actually on the, I believe, they started on the 24th, and then the 25th. So I believe they should technically be on the 26th at the start of the next game, if I remember correctly. So I just messaged the group to be like, Log, you didn't change the day, did you, motherfucker? Oh, he's answering, but I'm pretty sure he didn't. So 26th, and what is the fucking... Alright, so at the end of this game, you're going to be on Dalison, but right now you are on Folsom the 24th. Alright, so...
That's what I wrote up. I just posted it in the chat.
I mean, Marison, roll a d20 to determine placement, d100 to determine purse size, 10% of winnings, or incur 10% of losses. So, the thing is, though, that if you lose, that is not necessarily... I mean, if you want to keep him racing, then that. But if you want to just say, sorry, your loss is your loss, then you don't lose 10%. But he will go bankrupt eventually if he loses too many in a row.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean...
So your investment could come out to nothing, or it could make you fucking loaded. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, we'll let him fucking eat his own losses then. I thought you were saying that was what I was... that's the way it was, which I was cool with. But if I could make him eat his own losses, then fuck him.
You can, but if he goes bankrupt, then you will get nothing out of it, right? Whereas if you're like, okay, you lost, well, this, I'm going to help pay towards it, and that will allow him to keep racing, and maybe your rolls will perk up one day, and you end up fucking rich. Who knows?
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'll leave it the way it is.
Okay.
I'll help the guy out. We're a team, right?
The man goes through and give me another d20.
Ooh.
He doesn't seem to really know what he's looking for. So he relies on you and the other man. He's like, I don't know, what do you think? Is this one good? Give me a nature.
I was gonna say, what the fuck's he looking at here?
With a 12, I'm gonna... The man is like, oh, they're all good. But as you're looking at it, you're like, I don't know, this one doesn't seem great. It's not the worst. Definitely not the best either. He goes to another one. Seems to be more lean, stronger. The muscles are more obvious. Give me another d20.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
The man's like, oh, this one's good too. And you look at it and you're like, you know what? This is probably the next best to the one you just had butchered.
Oopsie.
The man's like, well, you're putting the money up front, so I'm going to assume you know what you're talking about. We want this one. The man's like, yes, this one. He's a beautiful stallion. This one, he'll race his horse cock off. Best thing you'll ever see on the track. Promise.
Cleek will pat the horse and he'll look at the man and he'll be like, this one's for racing. We'll need a saddle.
Very well. With a saddle then, you're looking at 110.
Cleek will hand him 110 gold.
Okay. Very well. Well, make sure to keep them shoed properly and hire a good jockey. There are races every weekend, usually on Mariston, across the continent. It's a traveling business, so I hope you're prepared for that. Man says, yeah, 100%. I actually have a jockey in mind. He's like, thank you, sir. I promise we will do great things together. And he's like, please, come back to my shop. Let's have a drink.
Of course. Cleek will accompany him back to his shop.
You guys share some hearty drink and For the first time today, you're starting to feel a little better. You know, hair of the dog and all. You've been kind of shaky all day, and technically I probably should have been giving you disadvantage on most of your rolls, because that's what I gave Val after his drug binge. But I forgot about that, so too late now. So you got lucky. But yeah, you guys have some really great drinks and conversation. He's asking questions about you and, where you got that kind of money and, what you do for a living. What you tell him is up to you. Is there anything, you would like to convey about yourself and your group?
Yeah, I mean, Cleek will let him know that he's an adventurer, and they try to take on jobs that'll better the world. They're looking to stop evil creatures. They use their powers to help people.
Both him and his son, which even for a child of his age, seems very short. Give me an insight check. They're very enthralled by your stories, is what I was about to say.
Nailed it.
Yeah, you are dead certain that the butcher's son is the one that he is going to be using as a jockey. You also get the fact that as soon as they brought you guys brought the horse back, the son was looking at the horse and he was inspecting him. This child actually knows a lot about horse racing, a lot more than his father. And he was super excited. He was even more enthralled by your venturing stories.
Cleek observes the boy. He's like, well, son, will you be the rider?
He looks at his dad with, like, fucking, squirrel eyes, just, like, wide, and, love in his eyes and excitement and, like, shit in his pants. And his dad looks, he's like, well, it was going to be a surprise, but I have a friend who's going to guide you, but I know you've always wanted to race. So here you go, son. It's a gift, and this man's paying for it. So you better thank him quite well. And the boy is ecstatic. He's jumping up and down, and he's super excited about this, and he thanks you profusely, and his father. Fucking like 100 bows before, like, you even get a chance to respond. He's already out of the room going to fucking go hang out with the horse again.
Well, he seems like he's committed and probably knows what he's doing.
Yes, he knows much more than I. I probably should have brought him with us for the purchasing, but I mean, he will do his best to win, but honestly, I think he just wants to race. Whether he wins or loses is not really in his mind. He's more about the racing, but he will do his best.
Cleek will explain the ins and outs of the deal. Make sure they're both on the same page. That win or lose, 10% will be exchanged. And, win or lose, Arcane Bob will get his 1%. So, if we lose money, he's only going to get 9% to cover it, not by 10%.
Well, in that case, even if he doesn't place first, he best place. He's gambling a lot on this. I think he'll do well, though.
Let's hope so.
I thank you again, Mr. Cleek. It has been an honor.
Well, hopefully it'll benefit us both. If not, we lose together too. What can you do?
This is true. And he shakes your hand and gives a very warm smile. Like, I don't think you know, how much this means to me, my boy. You really don't.
I had an inkling. That's why we went back to the stables.
He kind of gets a little teary-eyed. Well, I hope this doesn't bankrupt me, but... I mean, if it does, at least my boy gets to be happy for a while. And as he turns around, for the first time, roll me a perception check.
He's a mimic!
There's a massive lump on the back of his neck.
Ooh. That's no bueno. Is Ina still with me?
Ina had gone back to the tavern. And there, like DM to player, there's nothing she could really do. She doesn't have that kind of magic.
So we're outside right now?
Huh?
Sorry, I accidentally hit the button.
Alright, so now I actually need to add some notes to this here. One second.
Sorry, Kate came down and said something and I accidentally hit the button to respond.
No worries.
Apparently it's raining and there's tornado warnings.
I mean, we've already had like 5 or 6 this year. I'm not surprised. But climate change isn't real, guys. It's not real.
Yeah, and the Earth's not round either.
How dare you say something so bold and untrue? Alright, so, unless something happens with that guy, I just set a date for his death. But yeah, no, it is quite obvious there is a massive lump in his neck. Do you mention this as he's leaving?
No.
Alright. He gets to near the door of the back of his shop and he says, "Hopefully we get to speak again, Mr. Cleek. It has been an honor."
I look forward to it.
And he closes the door behind him. And he leaves you alone in the shop.
I will head out.
Okay. So, at this point, you would be able to leave, go call your griffin. You guys head off out of the city. As you guys head off, you guys get about, I think I said about 5-6 hours out. You guys camp for the night. The next morning, everybody wakes. Several of them, actually all of them except for you, start training their griffins and strange things. One of Val is training his to sing. Yeah, Val's training his to sing. Many of the others are training theirs in combat maneuvers. Do you wish to train, or do you wish to sneak back into the city to get your poisons?
I mean, I'm still working on flying without the fucking harness. That was what I was working on, remember? So, I mean, I could do both at the same time, couldn't I? If I head in that direction?
It is an 8-hour, like, basically you have to, the way training your griffin works is it's 8 hours. You know what? I would say, you know what? Yeah, you probably could. To get back to the city, and then get back to your camp. It's 10 hours, so you have to take some time to get in to your sneak into the city and get your poison. But yeah, I would say you can.
I mean, my plan is to go in under the cover of night.
Can you give me like 10-15 minutes though?
Sure.
It's yeah, I didn't think that it would take this long. I have to go and like I gotta go to the bathroom first off, but I also need to kind of prep dinner and put it in the oven real quick. Is that cool?
Yeah. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
cool.
Yeah. Sorry. Give me like 10 to 15. I'll be back as soon as I can. Just
Okay.
otherwise, my grandmother's not gonna eat until like fucking 9 o'clock. So.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
All right. I'm gonna put this thing on D&D break, and I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay.
All right. I'll be back. Hello?
Hello?
Ah, sweet. Alright, so...
It took me a second to realize that was you because I was watching Family Guy.
Yeah, sorry about that. It was just some quick prep. I did, like, the super lazy man way, so...
Oh yeah, no worries. I filled the group in about my fucking horse racing and then downloaded some shit, or, well, set it to download and then threw on an episode of Family Guy for the rest.
Fair. Alright, so... we last left off. You were leaving the dude's place, and you were heading up to meet with the group and take off. So,
Yeah.
you were coming back, right? So,
well, I was gonna say as soon as we got somewhere out of town, probably I would say the camp, I would bust out the bag of guts for sleep.
Okay. Sure. He is thrilled with it. Although it stinks because there's like intestines and shit in there. He mouths this like there's nothing else in the world. He loves it. Now, you guys wake up the next morning. They all start the training of their griffins. So, I'm not going to allow you to roll for your training until you are on your way back, in case you get caught. So, on your way back to town, you realize you have to sneak in. So, I want you to describe to me how you do this.
So what do you mean in case I get caught? Like, I'm up in the air, right?
Yes, but don't know if you as a player were there, but your character was when they described the fact that things flying over top of the city are going to get shot down.
Well, yeah, but it's a 5-6 hour trip, right?
Yeah, you get back, but you need 8 hours to train your griffin, right? So if it's 5-6 hours to get back, like to get there, you're only going to have partial training. So if you get caught trying to sneak back into the city, you might not be able to do the rest of your griffin training on your way back. So we're going to see how the sneaking into the city goes first. So
Fair enough.
you get the city is within sight. You're on your griffin. You're flying. What would you like to do?
Land at a safe distance, same as we did last time. So, leave sleep.
Okay. You're going to leave them there. And how are you trying to gain access to the city?
Is it nighttime?
It is not. It would be like probably around noonish, maybe a little bit after. It's getting close to the 24-hour mark, though.
Is there wall guards or just gate guards?
There's guards all up and down the walls, the gates.
So I'm just looking for something.
You also know that when you guys first entered the city, they stopped every person that was trying to gain access and talked to them before they allowed them in. So, with that knowledge, how are you trying to gain access?
I will cast Pass Without a Trace, first of all.
Okay. So that adds a 10 to your stealth.
And then I'm gonna try and use. Is there any kind of? I'm not looking for a gate. I'm looking for like the least guarded part along the wall.
The least guarded parts along the wall would be the spaces in between the gates. So, if you're looking at the map here, we got a gate here. There is a gate here. There is a gate here. And here. There's one in the north, and I believe two. Yeah, two in the east. One here, and one here.
Sorry, where did you say in the southwest area? Where is there gates?
Right on 6, on 7, and then on either side of 5, where there's kind of like a the dirt path widens, is where gates are. And then on the east side, there is at 10 and 9 and 8 in the north.
So probably this corner over here-ish.
Okay.
It's not very guarded.
I mean, there's still guards on the walls, but compared to gates, no. It's not nearly as guarded. You do definitely see a couple ballistas. And there are men. But roll me a luck roll. See whether they're paying attention. D20. They're kind of paying attention. Not overly, though.
So I will try and sneak my way towards the wall.
Sure, roll me a stealth. And add 10 to it. 29. You seem pretty stealthy. It doesn't look like anybody's noticed you as you get near the wall.
When I get to the wall, I will use my Nature's Veil.
Alright, post that for me, would you? Okay, so till the start of your next turn. So if you were to use your action to dash, you get 60 feet. These walls are... I honestly can't remember whether I said 50 or 80 feet tall when you guys first arrived here. So let's go with 50. They're 50 feet.
Looks like I'm burning one of those potions of speed too then.
That's fair.
Before the Nature's Veil, obviously.
Alright. That works.
That's on a time clock.
So you burn a potion of speed, and then you magically kind of close your eyes, and you become ethereal. And what do you do then?
I'm gonna go up and over, so I got 100 and... well...
120 if you're using your dash action.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can get up, over, and all the way back down to the ground. Now you've got about a 20-minute walk to get back to the market. As you're walking, you notice some guards, in random spots. Don't really seem to be looking for anybody. But give me a stealth.
36.
Yeah, it seems like nobody is paying attention to you. Now, how long does that last?
What, pass without a trace?
Yeah. Up to 1 hour. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you managed to sneak past these guards pretty well. Takes you a little while to get back to the tent. And as you approach, he notices, yes, you. Please, come. And he takes you into the back of the tent. I believe this is what you're here for. And he puts the 2 vials of purple worm poison on the table. Now, you only paid half up front, so I will need the rest.
Queek will give him the other 2,500.
Very well. Here you go. He does the same thing, kind of scoops it into his chest. Pleasure doing business. Come back again.
Perhaps I will.
Alright, so you have about 40 minutes left on your pass without a trace. As you leave, you spot several guards in the center of the market. Roll me another stealth. $23. You do alright. You're kind of blend in with the crowd as you make your way back to the wall. So your potion of speed is gone at this point. But your pass without a trace is still up. By the time you get back to the wall, you got about 20 minutes left on it. What would you like to do?
Drop another potion of speed and another fucking Nature's Veil and shoot back up and over.
Up and over you go. You land on the other side. And you continue on. Eventually you call for your griffin. And you guys head back to camp. At this point, as you're on your way, you may make your animal handling. $20. So you may edit the animal handling, or the how to train your griffin thing, and change your 0 to a 1. So you are aware, you cannot spend more than 7 days without training your griffin. If you do, whatever successes you have will go back to 0, as they will forget. But you make it over. You get out. You successfully learn how to ride and, do some, barrel roll maneuvers and whatnot without actually falling out of the saddle without the straps.
Nice.
As you land back with the rest of the group, they are just preparing dinner, feeding the griffins, etc. And that is pretty much where we're going to end.
I'm going to give Fleet a horse head. Probably the first horse, though, because that one's probably... Or no, they're in a bag of hunter, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll give him the racehorse head, then.
He is exceptionally happy as he's chewing this down. You can feel his elation. And you get the one word in your head. Meteor. He is happy.
Queek responds, "Yes, buddy, I got you the best horse they had."
And you just feel the warmth of happiness elating from your griffin. And then you guys sit down for a long rest. You guys awake in the morning, and that begins the 26th of the month. And that's where we're going to end.
That's the Saturday?
I think so. I've already updated the calendar because Log forgot to do it before. So whatever it's at now is the current day when you guys are awaking.
Yeah, that's Saturday. It's tomorrow. I gotta roll.
It's a Sunday you have to roll to see how well they do.
Yeah, so that would be tomorrow in game.
Yeah. But yeah, good game, bro.
Fuck yeah. I got a racehorse.
Took a little longer than I expected, but it was definitely worth it. You got some interesting shit done. You got a fucking racehorse, a little passive income, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But yeah, that was excellent. Thanks, Kenny, for joining us on this little adventure. And yeah.
So I figure since I put it in the chat, I would have told everybody about my racehorse with dinner and throughout the evening.
Fair enough. I would say yeah, for sure.
Sweet.
But yeah, I just got to talk to Ina because I mean, there wasn't a whole lot for her to do. She's kind of tagged along with you for half of the day, so I don't think we're gonna end up doing a side one for her at the moment. I mean, because the only thing really she's got much input in really is her shopping. So we'll just say she did her shopping, and her and I can discuss that. And yeah,
and I'm sure she's got some time if she wanted to, wander off and do things on her own while I was doing the racehorse stuff and whatnot, the butcher.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless she wanted to butcher a horse too, but I don't think she's worth that, so she'd be on her own, I guess.
Yeah.
This guy might be getting suspicious if random people keep coming in to buy horses.
Yeah. Considering you said business has been slow as of late, and all of a sudden you got an influx. Before any of the ones he sold have actually gone to race. So, we shall see.
One's for racing.
Yeah, but it hasn't actually gotten to a race yet. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, sure. But, I mean, that's assuming Ina wants to buy a full-fledged racehorse to feed to her fucking griffin like I did.
Yeah, exactly, right? But yeah, thanks for making the time tonight. And, I guess I will probably see you on, you're making the game on Friday?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright. See you Friday.
Yep, take her easy, brother.
Alright, later.
Peace. And thank you everybody else who joined today, even if you didn't speak. Much appreciate it. This was just kind of a, one of my players missed their game this week, and there was some character arc shit, so I did a little side thing for them. So thank you everybody who showed up. Hopefully I will see you guys again. I do have a game I'm playing in on Friday, so please join for that. And then the following week I have a game I'm playing in on Saturday. I have a game I have games I'm playing in Friday and Saturday this week. And then next weekend I am running both my Lost Mines for the brand new players who have never really played D&D until recently. And then Sunday I run my Wildemount game again. So, I got weekends stacked for fucking D&D. So by all means, come in for that. And I think I might be back to stream a game tonight, which I have not done in quite some time because I have been busy. But I feel like playing some video games tonight. So, come back for that, please. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.